What is up, y'all? We back. This is not a good angle with the light. Hold on. This is a way better angle. I'm in this classroom. It's 5 a.m. right now. I got work to do. And usually when I like doing my work for my job, I'm like, you know what? Let me record some of these videos. So I wanted to come on here and talk because one thing I was just thinking about was perfectionism and laziness. Right now for my job, I'm editing a video. I do advertising and marketing stuff for them. And a lot of times the videos I make for them, they're very easy. It's 2 minutes. I just have like a AI generated voice, narrate a script. I put some visuals up, boom, bada bam, easy. But for some reason, when I think about these tasks or think about what I gotta do for them, it's always like the most daunting thing in my mind. And when I look at my life, I feel like a lot of tasks have always come hard to me, mainly since middle school and especially since high school. I don't want to take too much time to harp on it, but when I was younger, I used to be a big perfectionist, especially when it came to academics. I was raised very much in the academic world. I wasn't really playing sports. I did arts, but that wasn't like a main thing. But when it came to academics, that was like, okay, this is my self-worth. And whenever I didn't do well, like I was the type of kid, I don't do well, I come home emotional, like, you know what I mean? But luckily for me, like elementary school was very easy for me, so that never really happened. But once I got to middle school, I went to a new private middle school in a different area, way more competitive, very much a feeder into private high schools. And once I started going there, that's when I really started to feel intimidated, you know? I'm getting my homework done. I've been working to midnight. I'm in 5th grade. And then my peers are getting their stuff done quicker. And I'm thinking there's something wrong with me. Why am I struggling like this? And obviously, we all know having negative self-talk like that only perpetuates the problem. And so I'm talking to myself like this, and I'm like just getting frustrated. And then around 7th grade, like midway through 7th grade, I had the English class that I really started struggling mentally, because the first class where I think I might have failed a test. You know, I'm in college now, so this stuff doesn't really faze me. I get bad grades all the time now. But at least for this time period, that meant a lot. And I remember I was watching a lot of, I know people are going to laugh, but I was watching a lot of like Jake Paul and stuff. And I remember him, whether or not he was playing a character or not, his delusional optimism and him always talking about just like waking up, being grateful. You know, every 2016 YouTuber was saying that, but for some reason in my head, like that era of YouTube and like seeing that delusional optimism, I was like, what if I just be like that? What if I just wake up and pretend I'm the best or pretend I'm fine with everything, even if I'm not? And eventually I will be okay with everything. You know, I kind of adopted a fake it to make it approach, and it definitely didn't work out 100%, but I definitely grew out my shell and definitely changed my perspective when it came to work. You know, there's also like a whole lot of social benefits and social things that changed too. But when it came to work, I started to do better in that English class. Like, even though it wasn't like I was studying more or anything, it was just like my mindset changed. Like the class didn't become harder to me. And once I got to high school, I started to see more and more hard classes, especially around 2020 COVID time, and I was taking the SAT. I'm not gonna lie, there were some points where I was just like, I generally don't know what to do. And especially in college, I was taking econ and statistics, and like I was going to office hours, and I just didn't get better. But regardless, the point of this is what I want to say is that I think in my mind a lot, I feel as if I'm lazy, and I do have some lazy tendencies, don't get me wrong. I do have issues with just like getting myself to be disciplined. But I just feel like lazy is an oversimplification of what the phenomenon really is, you know? I do have issues I need to overcome, but no one wants to be lazy. No one wants to not do things. It comes to the fact that they have an issue with doing things that they don't want. And I think part of that is because of the connotations they put on the things that they don't want or the things that they have to do. It's a lot easier for me to edit a YouTube video that's 10 minutes long than it is to me to edit this 2-minute video for my job, regardless of how much effort it actually is, because I like one more than the other. And I also know there's more pressure because more people are depending on me. It's a lot easier for me to disappoint myself than disappoint a boss. And I feel like I'm just motivating myself like in this moment to be like, Amari, stop worshiping or stop valuing these things so highly. You know what you're capable of. You're worked to this moment. So why are you feeling doubt? And a lot of these lessons that I talk about in my videos, they're so simplistic. They're things I learned in middle school. But it's crazy. Like, I feel like a lot of life isn't really about figuring out stuff. A lot of the stuff that we need to figure out, we already know. It's more about reiterating it and like instilling it, you know? It's so easy to forget something when you have distance from it. You know, if you haven't worked out in a while, you start to forget what's the point of working out in the first place. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was really it. I just want to make this video real quick. So if you're someone who feels like you're lazy, you're probably not. You probably just don't know how to capitalize on your laziness. And that's another thing. It's like knowing how to maximize your potential. I know that I can't work in certain environments. So I was just in my apartment, and I know I can't really work in that environment because I'm just going to want to go take a nap and go to sleep. So I came to a random classroom on campus. Now I have the luxury of knowing I live on a safe college campus, so I'm also a man, so I can just leave my room at 3 a.m., go walk around campus, go to a classroom and work. But not everyone can do that. But maximize. That's the biggest thing for everyone in life. Maximize your potential. If you're able to do that, then you'll be set. Peace.